After changing her name, my complaining girlfriend panicked. After I came back from rebirth, the first thing I did was go to the police station to change my name. Just because I have a best friend who loves to complain. You have to complain if your clothes have lint. You have to complain if there are too many green onions in the takeaway. You have to complain if the driver doesn't turn on the air conditioner when taking a taxi. I advised her not to be so aggressive, but she laughed at me for being timid. Until a manic depressive patient came to my door. Without saying a word, he dragged me away and tortured me alive. I begged my best friend to save me, but she said, "What do you care about me? I'm looking for you." He even ran back to his room and closed the door tightly. It was only after I died that I found out that my best friend always left my information when she complained. When I opened my eyes again, I heard my best friend complaining again. "One, what do you mean?" I said no green onions, but you still added green onions for me. Is it because I ordered takeout and you are just perfunctory with me like this? Her tone was fierce, and the clerk across from her was obviously frightened and apologized one after another. "Sorry, customer. Our store was too busy today, and I didn't pay attention to the note." GNMO saw the other party admitting his mistake neatly. He showed a worried expression. Then in front of me, he performed the same set of words specially used to deal with store owners. Then she said, "Can you dismiss me without paying attention? Let me tell you, I am severely allergic to green onions. I have difficulty breathing after eating green onions. In severe cases, I may even go into shock. If I hadn't checked before eating, your store would have been closed." Sure enough, the clerk became even more panicked when he heard this. But in fact, she didn't have any allergies at all. Then the other person could only keep repeating, "I'm really sorry you haven't eaten yet. Can I ask someone to make a new one for you right away?" Seeing that the clerk opposite was not polite, she stopped pretending. "Redo it? Doesn't it take time to do it again? I've been waiting for this meal for so long, so it's no longer time to share your time with mine, right? You just pay the money." After going around and around, I finally got to the point. But the other person still didn't understand what she meant and foolishly thought that it would be solved as long as the money was refunded. Then his tone became much more relaxed and he said, "No problem, madam. I will give you a refund now. I'm really sorry for disturbing your meal." When GNMO heard that only a refund was given, she curled her lips and felt a little angry. I know her. She has always been greedy. Once she complains, she won't let go easily unless the store peels off some skin. So he simply threatened, "I've been talking about co-writing for so long. Are you playing the piano to others? You didn't see me entering the hospital, so you thought this was nothing, right? Believe it or not, I'll take a bite right away and I'll leave your store without food. Don't. The clerk opposite was obviously anxious. "Ms., you are right. It is our problem. You must not joke with your own life. They all earn a monthly salary of 3,000 yuan. There is no need for the clerk to be killed just because of a green onion. Besides, for this reason, the clerk also wanted to pay some money quickly and settle the matter." Later, I heard the other person say in a somewhat tentative tone, "Well, look, how about we compensate you 50 yuan? Seeing the other party speaking, GNMO could no longer hide the greed in her eyes. He insisted, 2,000 yuan, even 1 point less. I will not cancel the complaint. 2,000. The voices on the other side rose an octave. "Customer, please don't embarrass me. 50 yuan is the maximum compensation I can get. I'm just a part-timer." GNMO didn't listen to the explanation at all and dropped a sentence. "Okay, then let me try your chef skills." Just hung up the phone. He also deliberately left his cell phone aside to let the other person worry. During this period, he chatted with me with a proud look on his face. Luo, believe it or not, the money will arrive in your account in less than 5 minutes. This kind of person, if you don't scare him, you won't know how powerful he is. When I didn't say anything, GNMO came over and hugged my arm and acted like a baby. "What's wrong? Do you think I have to deal with people?" But I'm not wrong. I'm just safeguarding my own rights. Besides, takeout is a pre-made dish and eating too much of it can actually harm your body. It's not too much for me to ask them for some compensation. Of course, it's not too much to safeguard your own legitimate rights and interests. You can use intimidation to get others to compromise, and the amount is huge. This is already blackmail. Although not every store adopts this method, once it succeeds, the 2,000 yuan will be worth half a month's salary of hers. The most hateful thing is why she left my information. I clenched my fists tightly, my nails digging into my flesh, and a pain came over me, which finally brought me back to some sense. After a while, the phone notified that 2,000 yuan had arrived. Seeing that she had the money, she was not in the mood to care about me, took her bag, and left. As I watched her leaving, my feet gave way, and I fell to the ground, breathing heavily like a dying fish. 2. The blade scratched the skin, and the bones were broken. Even if I were to live again, the pain engraved in my bones would be like maggots attached to my bones, making it difficult for me to breathe and trembling all over. In her last life, GNMO joined a group called the Complainant Alliance. There are all kinds of people inside who are trying their best to take advantage. They'll teach you how to make a complaint, how to negotiate with a store, and what words to use when dealing with different industries. In the beginning, she relied on these to get several exemptions. Later, she became more and more dissatisfied and started to threaten the merchants and directly ask for money. I advised her not to do this. After all, there's a lot of pressure in today's society, and a complaint may cause someone else to lose their job. What to do if you meet someone who is extreme and get retaliated against. But she didn't take it seriously and thought I was too timid. Until one day, someone wearing a certain group of takeout clothes knocked on the door, and I thought it was GNMO's things again. He opened the door without any precaution. As a result, the person on the other side only asked if I was Luo. I wasn't on guard at the time, so I responded casually, but I didn't expect him to have red eyes, look crazy, and call me a bitch and a slut. I saw that he lost control and wanted to close the door, but he kicked me down. The severe pain left me speechless. He straddled me and punched me hard. He also said, "Because of your complaint, I lost my job. If you don't want me to live, then let's die together." I was so stunned by him that I couldn't understand why he said that. Error 500, server error. 1500, that's an error. There was an error. Please try again later. That's all we know. I shouted to GNMO to save me, but she hid in the corner and didn't dare to come out at all. I begged her to call the police for me, but the man only glared at her and she immediately broke off the relationship with me. "It's none of my business. He's looking for you. I'm innocent." In the end, I was dragged away by that man with despair. After death, my soul returned to the rental house. But I saw Jian Moyun Danfenking complaining to others. It scares me to death. People nowadays are really too extreme. Fortunately, I always leave Luo Luo's ID information. Otherwise, I will be the one who suffers this time. It seems that we should be more careful when making complaints in the future. She felt no guilt at all. My death was like a leaf falling into the sea, unable to stir up any waves. So, as soon as she left, I packed my luggage, took my household registration book and ID card, and went back to the police station where my household registration is. After submitting the information, it will take a week to get the new certificate. Fortunately, I stayed in my hometown. When I went back, the broken van from my previous life was parked downstairs. An uneasy feeling arises spontaneously. I slowly went upstairs and only heard Jianmo's screams and that familiar and frightening voice. "Bitch, it's all your fault. If you hadn't complained to me, how could I have lost my job?" 3. Chun Feng pulled Jianmo's hair and gave her 2 slaps as soon as he stepped up. Jianmo was stunned and her cheeks hurt. But he could only pull his hair in a twisted posture to reduce the pain on his scalp. She looked at Chun Feng resentfully. But as if she had a clear mind, she knew it was the person she usually complained about. But I didn't expect to actually meet such a madman. It's a pity that Luo Luo, the scapegoat, is not here at the moment. Due to the huge gap in height and strength, she had to swallow her bad breath. The hatred for Luo Luo grew stronger in his heart. But in the end, he still softened his words. "Brother, who are you? Did you admit the wrong person? How could you do it indiscriminately?" Then he brought out the law and wanted to temporarily intimidate Chun Feng. "And let me remind you, you are breaking into a private house. I can call the police to arrest you. If you don't want to go to jail, let me go quickly, otherwise." But looking at Chun Feng's angry eyes, the more Jianmo talked, the more unsure she became. Chun Feng looked at Jianmo's frightened look, and his depression dissipated a lot. But then I thought about it. Now, she still dared to threaten me. He had to emphasize his tone and said viciously in her ear, "What else? Bitch, are you afraid now? When you complained to me, wasn't it pretty powerful? I'm telling you, today, I came with the determination to die. If you dare to ruin my life, I will support you, a bastard, before I die." Chun Feng's eyes were bloodshot, and there were obvious bruises under his eyes. It looked like he hadn't had a good rest for a long time and was on the verge of a mental breakdown. When he said this, there was a gloominess all over his body. Then she silently increased the strength in her hand, and Jianmo clearly felt the tearing sensation coming from her scalp. The pain made her take a breath, and tears flowed down unsatisfactorily. But seeing Chun Feng so crazy, she was really scared. The resentful eyes just now have been replaced by fear. Her limbs began to feel weak, especially when she saw the knife on the back of Chun Feng's pants. She could no longer care about anything and knelt down with her almost limp body. She wants to live, so she will do whatever it takes to do so. She cried bitterly and kowtowed to Chun Feng, and when she opened her mouth to speak, it sent shivers down my spine. "Brother, you have really admitted the wrong person. I have never complained to anyone else. My roommate likes to shop online all day long and will complain about every little thing. You must have mistaken the person. If you don't believe me, you can take a look at the ID card in my bag. My name is Jianmo. My roommate's name is Luo Luo. She complained about you, and it has nothing to do with me." Jianmo saw a trace of hesitation flash across Chun Feng's face and immediately broke away and took out her ID card. Then he continued, "Look clearly, I am not Luo Luo. I've told her a long time ago that you can't kill everyone like this, but I can't persuade her at all. It was she who caused you to be like this. If you want revenge, you should go to her." Chun Feng's face was complicated, and he seemed to be thinking carefully about Jianmo's words. Jianmo got time to breathe. She sighed in her heart. Fortunately, Luo Luo was not here at the moment. Otherwise, it would be really difficult to pin this crime on her. As long as she persuades this person to leave, she will definitely leave this place immediately. But Chun Feng is not that easy to fool. She never got a definite answer. It seemed like he had no intention of leaving. In the end, Jianmo simply refused to do anything and said to Chun Feng, "She has returned to her hometown. I can tell you where her hometown is. You go to her hometown to find her. Or I'll give you the key to this house, and you'll wait for her here. Then you can do whatever you want. As long as you let me go, I promise that I will never say anything to her, and I will not call the police. Actually, I've long been disgusted with the immoral things she has done. It's just right for someone to teach her a lesson. I can even call her right away and trick her back." After finishing speaking, I turned on my phone and prepared to call me. I originally thought that Chun Feng would just kill Jianmo like he did in his previous life. Unexpectedly, Jianmo's few words made him shaken. There was no way I was going to let her frame me again. Then he ran into the house almost rolling and crawling. "Jianmo, don't be afraid. You asked me to call the police. I have already called the police. The police will be here soon. 4. I'm warning you, it's best not to act rashly again. The two of them were stunned for a moment by my sudden appearance. Chun Fong was the first to react. Bitch, how dare you trick me? He kicked Jian Mo in the stomach, completely ignoring the tables and chairs that were knocked over behind Jian Mo. He grabbed her hair and dragged her all the way to me. Spit on her face. The look he looked at me made him want to eat me. I just said so much just to delay time. I'm telling you, in the worst case, I'll kill you all. My life is worth it for you too. Then Chun Fong stepped on Jian Mo's head with his foot, and his eyes showed the same smile as in the previous life. Brutal, crazy, and a little bit of excitement. I thought that after this period of adjustment, I was no longer afraid of him. But when I saw him like this, my whole body froze and I forgot how to breathe for a while. It was Jian Mo again, who couldn't help but cursed at me anymore. Luohua, yo idiot, do you want to kill me? He's here to find you. The person he wants to kill is also you. It's none of my business. If you want to die so much, just go and die yourself. Why do you drag me into this? Bitch, I won't let you go. Even if I'm a ghost, I won't let you go. As he spoke, the body lying on the ground kept moving towards me. The long manicure looks like a life-threatening ghost. But I suddenly calmed down. As expected, her true nature is hard to change. Chun Fong silently pulled out the knife behind him with a faint cold light, and the tip of the knife pointed directly at me. You two continue to act, calling the police at one moment and engaging in internal strife at another. Aren't you just trying to delay time? I'm telling you, I used to be a pig butcher. If I want to kill you, it won't take more than 2 minutes. I felt sick in my heart and felt a chill in my stomach. No wonder he was so agile in his previous life. After saying that, he held the knife with both hands and stabbed Jian Mo's throat straight down. Jian Mo yelled, closed her eyes tightly, and screamed almost desperately. If you want to kill her first. She is the one who complained about you. After Chun Fong heard this, he stopped. Jian Mo's lower body felt warm for a while, and then an unpleasant smell of urine filled the small room. Looking at her again, her eyes were empty, like a dead fish lying upright on the floor, with only one mouth desperately trying to absorb oxygen. I watched Chun Fong slowly get up and slowly walk towards me. You are Luo. Yes, I should deal with you first. He pressed forward step by step. Fortunately, I had prepared my ID card early in the morning. She brought it to him and said, You are mistaken. My name is not Luo. I am Su Wang. Chun Fong took my ID card and frowned, confused again. As for Jian Mo, after she recovered, she pulled the legs at the table and stood up slowly. Started to accuse me endlessly. You fart. Luo, you and I have known each other since high school. You have always been called Luo. You are not Su Wang at all. I see. No wonder you disappeared for a week. You must have gone back to your hometown and changed your name. You must be afraid of others retaliating against you, so that's why you do this. You want me to be your scapegoat. You are so cruel. Brother, don't be deceived by her. She is the culprit that caused you to lose your job. Listening to Jian Mo's words, my temples were beating with anger. She is really good at brainwashing. For the sake of his own life, he really tried every means to drag me down. I immediately retorted. What are you talking about? When have I ever complained about anyone? I hardly shop online, and in order to save money, I don't even order takeout. Do you have any evidence for this? I dare to show you my purchase record now, do you dare? One sentence made Jian Mo shut up. In the past, she loved to call me old-fashioned and stupid. There are discounts on takeout platforms, but I never order takeout. But I just have a bad gastrointestinal condition, and I will get stomach problems whenever I eat those things. But I never thought that this shortcoming would now become the key evidence to save my life. Maid, are you kidding me? Chun Fong was so noisy by us that he had a headache. He clenched his fists and knocked on his temples. He had long lost the patience to listen to our arguments. But I know that after so much pulling back and forth, in the end, if he were to find out, it would be Jian Mo who lied. Then Jian Mo will definitely receive even stronger revenge from Chun Fong. Then I said to Chun Fong, you should have called her many times in order to withdraw the lawsuit. It only takes one beating, and you'll know who's lying. Chun Fong took out his mobile phone and was about to make a call. Jian Mo suddenly rushed out like crazy. Don't hit. Luo, you bitch. I won't let you go. Just listen to the next second. The cell phone in Jian Mo's bag started ringing. It's like the devil's chanting. 5. Chun Fong slapped Jian Mo directly on the face. The body that had not yet stood still fell heavily to the ground. Jian Mo's whole body was filled with fear, and her body couldn't stop trembling when she faced Chun Feng's murderous eyes. She knelt on the ground, clasped her hands together, and kept kowtowing to Chun Fong. I'm sorry. I was wrong, brother. I don't want to do this either. If I knew a complaint would cost you your job, I certainly wouldn't do it. Chun Fong couldn't bear to hear this, so he picked up the vase on the table and smashed it directly on Jian Mo's head. Jian Mo tilted her body and stood up again. Half of her head was covered in blood. You mean, others can complain like this, right? Then Chun Fong pointed at his brain. Do you know that I am sick and I rely on medicine to control it every month? You made me lose my job and have no money to buy medicine. Then you should suffer the side effects of my disease. Immediately afterwards, slaps, fists, and kicks took turns. After a while, Jian Mo turned into a pig's head. Even the calls to me for help were muffled. I admired her being tortured, and I actually felt a secret pleasure in my heart. Just when Chun Fong raised his knife and wanted to end Jian Mo's life, the police arrived. I stared at Jian Mo, who fell to the ground. Psychological complaints. She is really lucky. Jian Mo was in a coma for 2 days, and Chen Feng was also detained at the police station for 2 days. Sadly, her parents were too far away, so I had to take care of her for a while. I looked at her bruised face and wanted to end her life with my own hands countless times. But I can't do that. You can't ruin your life because of such a beast. Fortunately, many interesting things happened during the 2 days she was in a coma. Early on the 3rd day, Jian Mo woke up. When she saw me, the hatred was obvious in her eyes. Even though his cheeks were swollen, he still scolded me. Bitch, it's all your fault. If it weren't for you, how could I be like this? Obviously, I had a chance to escape, but you decided to break in and said you called the police. If you hadn't angered him, how could I be lying on the hospital bed now? It's a pity that there is no mirror in this ward. Otherwise, I should really show Jian Mo she is drooling and has a ferocious look on her face. Seeing that she was finally tired of scolding me, I didn't tolerate her and said directly, yes, when you put all the blame on me, you will leave immediately. So I can die for you, right? Jian Mo, you are so cruel. Jian Mo didn't expect that I could see through her thoughts so easily, and her face turned pale instantly. When he spoke again, his words lost all the momentum he had just because of his guilty conscience. How is it possible? Luo you. Why do you miss me so much? Then, he smiled a smile that was uglier than crying. Really? Then what you said about tricking me into going home was also a lie. Jian Mo swallowed. It was obvious that I had heard all their conversation. Jian Mo was stunned for a moment, her eyes rolling, and that face made her feel inexplicably uncomfortable. Seeing that I was really angry, she quickly tried to please me. In that case, I must protect my own life first. Besides, you weren't at home at the time, so that's why I said that. You must understand me. If this happens to you, in order to protect yourself, I will never blame you. I looked at her faintly. For a long time, no words were spoken. I sneered in my heart. Jian Mo, remember what you said today. Don't ever blame me for not saving him at that time. The way Jian Mo looked at Luo for some reason made her think of the man that day. Same thing, I want to kill her. At this moment, the ward door opened. 6. The visitor is Chen Feng's uncle, Chen Hai. Wearing an ordinary shirt, there are still a few drops of oil stains on the pants, an inch wide. At first glance, he looks like an honest and kind person. In the past few days when Jian Mo was in coma, he came here frequently. After putting down the supplements he brought, he walked to Jian Mo's bed with an apologetic look. Excuse me, girl. I am Chen Feng's uncle. That kid Fenger is not bad in nature. It's just that during this period, he was alone at home with no one to care about him, and he was a little manic, so he was like this because he couldn't think about it for a while. I beg you, can you please don't sue him? Our old Chen family is such a one-man business. If he goes to jail, our family will be stabbed in the back. I thoughtfully shook the head of the bed so that Jian Mo could see Chen Hai better. Seeing that he was not from a family with a background, Jian Mo had another idea. Sure enough, she looked like I was reasonable and yelled at Chen Hai, "It's none of my business. I tell you, I will never let you go." So, what about neurosis? If you don't put a sick person in a mental hospital and let him hurt others, that's your problem. Besides, I am a customer and I have the right to complain. He lost his job. Why didn't he go to the boss to settle the score? Instead, he came to me as a customer. I'm really sick. When Chen Hai heard Jian Mo scolding, he quickly agreed in a low voice. Yes, you are right. Everything is his fault. But I beg you, can you let him go? As long as you don't sue him, I can do whatever you want. Hearing these words, Jian Mo's eyes lit up. Compensate. Jian Mo opened her mouth lightly. Chen Hai responded repeatedly. No problem. Don't worry. We must pay for the medical expenses and hospitalization expenses. In addition, do you think I'll compensate you another 30,000? Chen Hai's posture was low enough. But when Jian Mo heard that it was only 30,000, she immediately exploded. Only 30,000. You are sending beggars away. Chen Hai looked embarrassed and quickly changed his words. Then 50,000. How about 50,000? Jian Mo took Xiao again. 50,000? Old man, do you know how many years the penalty for intentional injury is? I was injured so badly that it will take at least 2 or 3 months to recover. During this period, my lost work pay, mental loss pay, and miscellaneous expenses are all added up. You want to send me away just for 50,000? You are simply talking nonsense. When Chen Hai heard this, big beads of sweat fell down his forehead. He hesitated and said, how much do you want? 200,000. I won't withdraw the lawsuit even if it's a penny less. When Chen Hai heard this, his face turned pale. Jian Mo then ordered me to call the police immediately. Since Jian Mo is so eager to seek death, of course I won't stop her. She didn't know that Chen Feng had already submitted for a mental evaluation. As long as it is determined that he has a mental problem, he will be locked up in a mental hospital for a few months at most. How dare she threaten Uncle Chen Feng? When Chen Feng comes out of the mental hospital, just wait for his endless revenge. Besides, there is a story between her and Chen Hai. 7. Seeing me calling the police, Chen Hai immediately rushed up and grabbed my phone. Then he said to Jian Mo fiercely, "You girl, why are you so cruel? We must be driven to death. We are a small stall, working from dawn to dusk to make some money, but you reported it and he was banned from taking orders. You're still not satisfied with this, so you made several more complaints. As a result, he was found to have used someone else's ID card and was banned from the platform. He is sick, but he just wants to help relieve my burden. GNMO didn't care about this. She just felt that this man was making a lot of noise. So what? I'm obviously doing good things, and I'm eliminating risks for everyone. He is mentally ill. If he gets sick while delivering food and hurts others like he did to me that day, I don't think you can afford to pay even the cost of the coffin. I'm thinking about you too. If he goes to jail, wouldn't your burden be lighter? I didn't let you thank me. How shameless. After saying that, he kept reminding me to grab my phone back and call the police immediately. Chun Hai's eyes widened and he couldn't breathe. His face and neck turned red from the suffocation. I am afraid that after decades of living, I have never seen such a shameless person like GNMO. Chun Hai finally understood what I meant by what I said before. To GNMO's surprise, this time, it was Chun Hai who took the initiative to dial 110. Chun Hai looked at GNMO and said word by word, "Girl, you asked me for 2,000 yuan before. This is blackmail. Since you won't let Chinfeng go, can I also sue you?" GNMO's pupils were startled, her eyebrows were furrowed, and her whole body was quite stiff. "You, what are you talking about? I can't understand." Chun Hai took out the transfer records and chat messages. "Don't you understand? It doesn't matter. I have done this kind of thing a lot. Can you stand up to the investigation? 2,000 per store. How many stores did you extort in total? Tell me, if someone sues you, will all the people you blackmailed be implicated?" GNMO's teeth were chattering and she stammered. I just don't sue you." The call was answered. "Hello, this is the XX police station. What's the problem?" Chun Hai walked to GNMO, leaned close to her ear and asked again, "I didn't hear what you just said." "Police across the street." "Hello? Hello, do you need any help?" "Hello, are you encountering any problems?" "Hello, this lady." GNMO took a deep breath and stabilized her mind. Then he slowly opened his mouth and said, "Hello, I am GNMO. I have decided to withdraw the lawsuit against Chinfeng for hurting me." The person on the other side was stunned for a moment. "Why? Can you tell me the reason?" GNMO said angrily, "Anyway, you don't have to worry about it. I have reached an agreement with his family." Then he simply grabbed the phone and hung up. After saying that, GNMO stared at Chun Hai angrily. "Now you are satisfied, right?" Chun Hai nodded and smiled. The atmosphere was finally not as tense as before. After settling everything, Chun Hai didn't stay too long. Before leaving, GNMO stopped him. "I have withdrawn the lawsuit, and I hope you will not break your promise." Chun Hai quickly responded, "Don't worry, I value integrity the most. And that mentally ill guy of yours, it's best to find a hospital and lock him up. If you hurt someone again, your shabby store won't be able to compensate you enough." I watched Chun Hai tighten his trouser legs and left the ward without saying a last word. On the other hand, it was GNMO. As soon as Chun Hai left, she looked at the door bitterly. He whispered, "Just wait. I won't let you go." 8. I had just left the ward, but I didn't expect that Chun Hai had been waiting for me at the elevator entrance. Seeing me coming out, he quickly thanked me. "Girl, thank you. If you hadn't told me that I could threaten her with the blackmail she had done before, Foma would have ended up in jail." I smiled calmly. I didn't do this to help Chinfeng. I hate both GNMO and Chinfeng. However, at the beginning, I didn't dare to bet that Chinfeng could definitely kill GNMO. Only then will he pull regardless of his own safety. But fortunately, everything was not in vain. At least I will never be targeted by Chinfeng again. Then I had a few vague words with him and stopped talking to him. But I didn't forget to remind him at the end, "Well, you'd better close the store." Chun Hai was puzzled. "Why? Girl." I just explained lightly. I just heard her say that she won't let you go easily. So, Chun Hai was very optimistic and said with a smile, "Don't be afraid. As long as she doesn't sue us, our little shabby shop has nothing to be afraid of." Looking at Chun Hai's retreating figure, I silently shook my head. How could an old man in his 50s or 60s understand the destructive power of rumors? Chinfeng was detained for a week and then released. But because of his violent behavior, he was admitted to a mental hospital. As for GNMO, since I exposed her, she felt bored and called a sister in the Complainant Alliance group to take care of her. I listened to their chat, and GNMO seemed to have the idea of moving because of me, in order for Chinfeng to find her in the future. Of course, I won't let her leave easily. So, I wisely made room for the two sisters. At the beginning, I managed to get the lowest price for this house. Faced with today, rents outside have easily increased 3 or 4 times. GNMO is obviously happy to continue living here. Then I simply moved to a new home. Since I live alone, I installed a surveillance camera at the door. Perhaps out of fear from my previous life, I rarely go out. Just stay within your own safety. Until I came across a post. A small black-hearted workshop hires mental patients to deliver takeaways. The mentally ill man violently assaulted others, and the evidence was conclusive. In the end, he was only sent to a mental hospital for 2 months. In just one day, it became a hot spot in the same city. The comment section is full of rhythm. After that, GNMO sent several more photos of her injuries, as well as medical diagnosis certificates. In an instant, everyone's anger was ignited. The bottom is all asking GNMO to report the store address. She said, thinking that she was unlucky. But in fact, I turned around and attracted a few groups. Sell miserably there and make money. Then he inadvertently exposed the address of Chun Hai's store. The next day, Chun Hai's shop was smashed. Bah, you're so evil. You even hire mentally ill people to work. Can't you survive? How dare you? If you have a mental illness and kill someone, do you only need to be imprisoned in a mental hospital for a few days? What's wrong with mental illness? If you hurt someone, you should go to jail. Support. This kind of person should be locked up in a prison cell for the rest of his life, so as not to come out and harm others. Chun Hai ran out to stop him. No, Fonger is not mentally ill. He is just a little manic. Besides, we have already negotiated not to prosecute, and the police didn't say anything. Why are you still destroying the store? How can those people listen to this? Especially that sentence that the police didn't care about. What GNMO said was even more firm. They have connections in the police department. GNMO is a weak woman with no power. Being under the eaves, I had to lower my head. So I believe and sympathize with GNMO even more. In addition, GNMO didn't know how to PUA, and everyone was led away by the nose for a while. Smash it, old man. How dare you talk about the police? If you hadn't threatened GNMO, how could she have easily withdrawn the lawsuit? This is blasphemous to law enforcement. I don't care how much it matters to you. Have you heard that the law does not punish the public? Everyone, give me a break. Since the law is unfair, it's up to us to deliver justice. And this old man, don't let us go either. At the end of the video, a swarm of people burst into the store and tore it to pieces. Chun Hai was lying on the ground with a pale face. 9. It wasn't until the siren sounded that everyone regained their senses. Chun Hai, who fell to the ground, had already lost his breath. Chun Hai had a heart disease, and he fainted after being so excited by everyone. No one noticed him at all until the police arrived. Chun Hai is long gone. A life was lost, and everyone started to panic. Everyone started blaming each other. Finally, the police found Jian Mo's head, but she refused to plead guilty. At most, he is guilty of inciting cyber violence. Chun Hai's death was indeed not directly related to her, but she also indirectly caused Chun Hai's death. During the trial of the case, Jian Mo has been looking for a lawyer to plead not guilty. The few people who helped her stand out were unlucky and faced various kinds of jail terms. Until one day, I received a call from Jian Mo. She screamed, and her nails dug into the floor, making a horrifying sound. Luo, Luo, I beg you, please help me. Chin Feng wants to kill me. There was fear in his voice. I remembered her answer in my previous life. He killed you. What does it matter to me? She yelled, her voice almost distorted. Why are you so selfish? Are you going to watch me die? I chuckled lightly and then reminded her. Jian Mo, have you forgotten? We discussed this issue in the ward last time. Jian Mo looked at Chin Feng with red eyes. She could only open her mouth and eyes, letting tears flow down, but she couldn't make any sound. Immediately afterwards, there was the sound of various knives, axes, and electric saws. In fact, I am very curious. She can get the mobile phone. Why didn't she call the police to find me? Why didn't she want to think about how Chin Feng, who was in a mental hospital, got the news? Until all the sounds on the phone disappeared and the world became nothingness. I heard Chin Feng's crazy whisper. Wrong. Everything is wrong. Obviously, it was you who I killed in my previous life. Obviously, my uncle should be alive. It's all your fault. You should be the one to die. In the end, Chun Feng's voice became shrill, and he even screamed on the other end of the phone. I guess he was probably reborn too. Even though he has memories of this life, he still thinks it's my problem. I couldn't hold it back and refuted him. You are wrong. None of this has anything to do with me. In the last life, you killed me indiscriminately. In this life, you should thank me for letting you take revenge. Chun Feng, welcome your ending well. In this life, I can finally get rid of you. Chun Feng was speechless until the siren sounded. In fact, I was kind-hearted and helped GNMO call the police. Otherwise, how could the police confirm Chun Feng's location so quickly? Although it was definitely too late to save her, there was no problem in helping her get revenge. In the end, Chun Feng was sentenced to death because of his bad tactics and was executed immediately.